Yes, this is another new what if. This is, well, basically, what if Deku was, well, a fire breather, I guess you could say. What a fire breather is, basically about a kid that's father is kind of a dragon. Well, a dragon type of kaiju thing, I don't know. Okay, the show's weird. So, basically, it revolves around this one, well, teenager that's basically a dragon slash kaiju type of thing. And well, basically, yeah, he just fights other kaijus. Basically, like that. Basically, Zuko will have his powers while getting a few extra added on. Plus, well, a lot of things is gonna be weird at the start. So, let's just get into it. So, the quirks that I will be giving Zuko, well, actually, no, actually, powers, I guess. Basically, fire breathing, flight, basically superhuman speed, superhuman durability. Basically, everything about him is superhuman. And, well, also another thing. The more Izuku is well blasted with fire, the stronger he becomes. And the angrier he becomes, the also stronger he becomes. And, yeah, basically, that's all. So, let's get into this video. We soon will zoom in to see a boy with green hair currently well sitting in a type of cell. His name is known as Izuku Midoriya, also known as, well, Project ZIDA. Midoriya, the reason he's, well, currently in here is because he's a half kaiju. And also another thing, Izuku has the ability to, well, turn into a dragon. Yeah, gotta get him. But anyway, not important. He was, well, half dragon slash kaiju. He, well, yeah, he was, well, made to be, well, fighting kaijus. You see, there's an underground, well, type of society, I guess you could say. Basically, they resolved around while fighting kaijus, unknown to the world. Basically, the only people that even knew this was the government and other high class officials. But that's not important. Recently, things have been getting, well, bad. It turns out that some people, well, may or may not know about their society of some sorts. Well, to be precise, they might think someone might have, well, leaked this information to, well, the outside world. And they're currently trying to figure out who. Well, the same Malizuku is, well, sitting in his cell. Oh, well, some of the people, he was just call him Z, for short. As well, he was now currently sitting in his cell. Midori was well known for his, well, powers. He, well, he could do a lot of different things. He could ignite his body in flames, he could breathe fire, he could run at insane speeds, faster than light. He was very, very special amongst his peers. And during this time, well, he was, well, sometimes these, well, people would put him against his, well, peers. His peers not being nearly as strong as him, or even closely. It would usually end up in them dying, and Izuku, well, obviously getting taken back to his cell for a future day of testing. Well, you see, not even Izuku knew what these people's agency or organization's name was. Although he got a bit of information. He heard that, well, well, it started with the letter of just D, that's all. Honestly, Midoriya didn't care less. as long as he was getting food, a place to stay, and some sleep. Okay, sorry about that. One day we see Project Z sitting in his cell. That is until everything went dark and a red flash started going off in his room. Midoriya thought this as another false alarm, since they tend to do this. They'll see how the subjects will do in an intense situation. Most of them would either just panic, or most of them would just walk up to a corner and just sit down. Midoriya was different. He just keep laying down. Honestly, he might be the laziest of them all, but the strongest. That is until he heard actual banging on his door. Midoriya obviously thinking this is weird, but just shrugged it off and closed his eyes until a type of mist, smoke type of thing was let into his room. Midoriya soon stood up and clapped his hands together. It disposing this type of mist, smoky. Midoriya as senses curious. Midoriya was curious about what that was. He walks up to his door and punches it with little to no strength, without even trying. After that's done, we see Midoriya now currently in the halls. He sees blood everywhere. This will obviously weeding out Izuku to a extent that he's never felt. Midoriya currently looking around and deciding to explore a little bit. After a bit of time, we see Midoriya come across an interesting sight. He sees a man with yellow hair, so his hair in the shape of it seems to be a V, I guess you could say. I don't know. We see Midoriya currently looking at a man in tight spandex. Midoriya obviously furrowing his eyebrows and asking what the hell is going on. The man obviously turning around and looking at Midoriya. Now Midoriya can finally see that his hair is in a V type of shape. Midoriya obviously asking what the hell is wrong with his hair. The man obviously just asking Midoriya if he doesn't know who he is. Midoriya says no, he's never met in tight ass spandex. The man obviously giving a slight chuckle at this and saying his name is All Might, and saying that he's here to rescue him. Midoriya stating that he's no damsel in distress, he can handle himself. The man asking him if he knows what is currently going on. Midoriya obviously asking what's going on then. The man says, saying that's information for later. Midoriya obviously being weirded up by this, saying, you can't just leave me hanging. You basically just told me. So you told me something that you shouldn't have told me. The man obviously not saying anything and turning around, telling Midoriya to come on. Midoriya just obviously sighs and follows. He'd be ready to kick this guy's ass, and he knows it. He doesn't look all that strong. And we time skip a couple of, no, not really. We see now Midoriya currently, outside of the base. He, looks up and the, sun blinds him for a couple of, minutes. So that's when he sees a bunch of people come rushing out. Some with his peers and some with nothing. Midoriya obviously, getting the picture and saying, some of them had to die. After that's done, We now see Midoriya in a in a helicopter. Him while saying that him will started to narrate himself, saying that these are the heroes. An organization bent on helping people, but they haven't been a lot of help in these few years of his life. Well, as far as he can remember, it's all a bit of a blur in his life. Do I ever kind of say he had a good life? He just shrugs. And now we time skip a few months. Midoriya has been he went to a school. The school being a UA high. Midoriya obviously most of the time not giving a single credit. He will mostly just put his head down and sleep. But for some reason he's been, to be precise, he's been paying a bit more attention lately. And people can definitely see that. So, what are we doing? Anyway, during this time, Midoriya, he's been basically just getting a rundown on his surroundings and everything like that. He basically, started to know people a bit more. But we see today that Midoriya is currently, sitting in class and, with his head down and his arms again. Basically, his head is on the desk. And is, currently sleeping. That is until someone taps his shoulder. He, looks over and sees, currently, as he gave him a nickname, Icy Hot. Honestly, he gave a lot of people nicknames. Bakugos. He was the typical Pomeranian. And yeah, other stupid nicknames like that. But anyway, ask him Todoroki what he wants. Todoroki basically says that did he get all the information he needs? No, retcon. Basically Uraka. Yeah. Uraka asks him if he needs help with anything. Midoriya obviously saying no and asking why. Her was just saying that you missed the entire explanation. Midoriya obviously asking what explanation. She says he basically gives him a rundown on the sports festival. Midoriya most of the time just nodding his head and acting like he understands. All he understands is punch people in the face and all he understands is basically the same typical high school sports activity. Basically, all that needs to happen is kind of like a type of event where, you'll be scouted. You'll have to prove yourself in a type of, in a type of, event, as he would say. You basically have to, show off to the heroes that will be watching you, and you will have to try and get scouted. Although Midoriya knew he, needs to, win this, since he's been a little bit competitive. But that's not important. Now, we currently time skip another couple of weeks. During this time, Midoriya decided to kind of try and track down a couple of kaiju to fight. Now we see Midoriya currently just fighting a type of sloth kaiju. He's currently just dodging and punching this thing in the face. And mostly just doing nothing. It was trying to scratch at it with his claws, but Midoriya most of the time just breathes fire at them and, well, just obliterates the claws. And the process will just keeps going. This thing's claws will just regenerating. Midoriya will stops focusing on it and will starts running up the arm. Basically, it smashed his fist down, and Midoriya will decided to take advantage of this. He will jumps on the hand and runs up the arm. He gets close to the face and blows fire on it. It will obviously bone this thing's face. And afterward, it will falls back and just hits the ground. After a couple of moments after, it will just turns to dust. Oh god. And well, yeah. I think I'm gonna end it off here. Bye.